G'day guys, we're in Soy Diamond, isn't it? Soy Diamond?
Correct. Is the correct answer, Dave?
Is off Walking Street Patio.
Yes.
Okay, can you tell us how long you've been in Patio, mate?
I first came to Pattaya in 1996, but I didn't live here. Actually, I lived here first time about 2003, 2004, but things didn't go quite right for me first time I came, which might be ringing a few bells for a few of your viewers. And then I came back and lived 2010, so I've been here for about 15 years altogether.
So how's everything going with a bar in Patio? Would you recommend it?
Well, I think it all depends on the sort of person that you are. If you're, let's be honest, Dave, there are a few habitual drunkards out there, people that no matter what fantastic area, what deal you get from a landlord, you're never going to have a successful business because of that individual's personality. But if you've got somebody who's got a good work ethic, who's self-disciplined, I always think self-discipline is important, not just to run a bar, but also in life over here. Doesn't mean you've got to live like a monk, but what it means is know your limits, limit yourselves, self-discipline is very important, yeah. So yeah, I mean, look, I've been successful, but you know, and I know a lot of people that haven't. And by the way, my success could burst at any minute, you know, I'm very aware of that as well.
So what advice would you give to anyone that's thinking about coming here to live?
Self-discipline, like I said. Don't run away from anything back home, you know? If you've got problems, I mean real problems, like, I don't know, maybe you owe a lot of money or something like that, right? That's going to catch up with you. But also, if you've got the sort of personality that has got problems, you know, maybe look at yourself, because you could be a nutcase back home. You're not going to come here and all of a sudden change your personality. So I think you need to take a hard look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I running away from anything? So that's important.
Because the normal parties, the common denominator is you, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Work, yeah.
I mean, look, my relationships, I know you might be talking about that later. I haven't seen the questions, by the way. My relationships all fail. I am absolutely hopeless. No, it's true. You know. And what's the common denominator in all of those? By the way, the very next guy that all my exes ever lock onto, they always strike gold. They've got a house, they've got a car, swimming pool, you know.
They've learned their lesson.
I teach them. So it's me on the problem there, yeah.
So tell me, what makes you smile?
Oh crikey, Pete, you know what? I don't watch things like comedies on the telly or funny films or movies. I think people are funny in real situations. There are things that happen in this bar that I find absolutely hilarious, but if I told you what they were, you'd go,
okay,
well, well, you just got to be there.
Yep.
And there's a funny thing about, like, when you watch a movie that's like a comedy, right? You have to say, right, press play, make me laugh.
I'm meant to laugh.
Make me laugh. And it's a funny situation. I tell you what I really like, who I found very funny, an Australian chap.
Australian what?
An Australian chap. Norman Gunston. I thought he was hilarious. Okay. And way ahead of his time.
When was the last time you cried?
Oh, crikey. That's a good question. But Piers Morgan, you are asking the hard questions. A Man City Queen dying was big. I'm a big royalist, and I know it's a contentious issue in some parts of the world, and I understand that, right? And I don't expect anyone to understand that, but I was so upset when that happened. It was almost like a part of my life dying. Like, if she was everyone's mom, it was everyone's grandma. So, but it wasn't when she died, but I think it was at the funeral I died. I cried.
So what's one thing you're proud of achieving in your life that you've never had a chance to talk about?
Goodness. Proud thing.
You know, you've done something and no one really knows because you don't get a chance, you've never been asked.
Well, when I was, I said that I came here for the first time, didn't really work out. And then I went back home, and one of the reasons I went back was my mom was terminally ill. and she had a lung problem, and I looked after her. I was a carer for about maybe 4 years, I think, before she died. And do you know what? It was difficult because I love my mum and I try to remember my mum during the good times of her life, but towards the end she was a bit like difficult. I think elderly relatives, folks, get like that, and so I looked after her, and then when she did die, I now look back at that time in my life and say, you know what, it was really difficult. It was like, if anybody is in this situation that's watching this, right, you think you're going down a tunnel and there's no end, because why is it so unfair that this has happened? I've got this elderly relative, or maybe child, or wife, husband, whatever, right, there will be an end to it all, and you will look back at that time in your life and say, you know what, job well done. And I think for that, yeah, definitely, job well done.
Okay. Your biggest fear?
This getting interviewed by Dave. Can I play that? No, my biggest fear. I think as you get older, I'm 57. It's my birthday 2 days ago. Happy birthday. Thank you very much. I think you worry about, you know, things are not like they used to be when I was young, and let's be honest, we've seen so much change. I've seen so much change in my life. Black and white television. I've heard you've got colour TV in Australia now.
Yeah, sometimes.
Fantastic, unbelievable. You're coming on good, right? But I think, man, you know, so much has changed, and I worry about the future. But actually, I'm sure the kids of today will be fine with it, you know.
Okay. If you're on death row and you get a chance to pick your last meal,
Keep it light. Keep it light.
What would your last meal be?
Do you know what? I love liver. Like
That's your last meal.
liver and onions and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, cheap day.
And I like steak and kidney pie as well. Offal, I love offal.
What about celebrity crush? Have you got a celebrity crush?
I used to really like Sade. I don't know if you know her. She was a singer back in the 80s, bit before your time. You're only young, aren't you, Dave?
Good stuff.
Well, hold on, no, I've got more.
Yeah, got you.
There's more. Is this supposed to be a short one?
No.
Celebrity crush, right now. I'd say there's would but shouldn't, right? Ex-British Prime Minister Theresa May. Shock horror. I think she'd be fantastic. Yeah. And she's my age.
What's one thing that most people don't know about you?
Oh crikey! There was a TV programme called Spitting Image, which was a puppet show, a satirical puppet show in the 70s, very, very big hit. All the Poms watching your channel will know it, right? I owned one of the puppets. I had this brilliant idea that I'd have a bar and I'd have this puppet in the bar and everyone would come to see this puppet. It's the worst idea ever. So I bought this puppet at auction, right? And it cost me thousands of pounds and I lost so much money on it. So yeah, I used to own a Spitting Image puppet.
What one situation in your life where you feel uncomfortable?
Feel uncomfortable? Man, you know, I don't like. I think I've become a little bit Thai. I've come over Thai, 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 and I think see the Thai's point of view. So sometimes I sit in the bar and I'll see guys trying to impress a girl. This is a very minor thing. And it'll be their sense of humour and the way they're communicating is just not getting through. You know, like traditionally the Aussies and the English, we have a little bit of banter, don't we? A little bit of sledging, right? Thais don't get that sort of sense of humour, but you might get somebody who's trying to like tell a joke to a Thai or something like that. And I remember sitting there the other day and somebody was trying to tell, this is a very English thing, an English, Irishman, Scotsman joke, like an Englishman, an Irishman and a Scotsman going to a bar, you know. And the girl was just sitting there like, awkward. I'm going, very awkward. Yeah. Or, you know, sometimes you see a guy with a girl and it's not a girl. Yeah. And you do sit and wonder,
Does
By
he
the
know?
way, there's nothing wrong with that, right? Whatever turns you on. But I'm thinking, I wonder.
Yeah. If you could know the truth about one thing, what would it be?
Well, this is a very niche answer, but I followed a podcast in about 10 years ago about a murder in Baltimore. People might remember it. It was called Serial, and it was about a murder of a young Korean girl in America. And there was a couple of people that it was either this person or that person, and it's never really been solved. So I'd like to know that.
happened, yeah.
It was Haymon Lee. May she rest in peace.
If you could change one thing in history, like social media, you know what I'm saying? What would you go back and change and so erase it?
Erase. It's a really tricky one, isn't it? Because yeah, I mean, I could say something sporting, like I went to this Test match in 1981 against Australia.
And we won?
That classic Australian side, Chapel.
Really?
Yeah, but that's a silly answer. You're looking for a really big thing.
Personally,
this-
I think social media sucks.
He says on his own YouTube channel. Can I just point that out?
Too many keyboard warriors giving an opinion they wouldn't say to your face.
But you know what, Dave? That's an interesting point, but I'll say this. I don't know about Australia, but let's just say, did you used to go to the pub in Australia in the 1980s? 90s then? I don't know how old you are.
Yeah.
Right. Did you go and there was always some bloke in the pub, pissed at the bar, talking complete shit?
Yes.
That is social media. Those people have always been there, but now they're on social media. Now they've got an audience, and actually they've got an audience of other nutcases, and I think it's just the joined together of all the nutters. And there's always been nutters in this world.
And they're still living in their mum's basement watching channels abusing us.
Apparently, yeah. I don't actually. Do you get those like messages hidden by YouTube?
I get it.
I used to get loads of them, but I don't get them anymore. I must try harder.
If you could sit here for 1 hour with someone dead or alive,
Oh, man.
anybody, who would you sit with?
Do you know what? It's a very serious answer. My dad. My dad died when I was 9.
Great answer.
Never saw me grow up. I got his diaries. When my mum died, I found his diaries. But he mentioned me about twice. I was so upset because I worshipped my dad. My dad was like this giant, you know. Actually, the day, yes, the day I lived, a day older than my dad, was a really strange day. And so I would love to sit here and say, Dad, here's my life. It's not perfect, but this is what I've achieved. And, you know, love me or loathe me.
Who would you least like to sit next to on a long haul aeroplane flight?
Oh, man.
Most people say politician.
Well, yeah, but
Or
that's
me,
the
'cause
obvious.
I'm a bit overweight.
No, you're okay. You're okay. There's so many on the. I don't want to say politician because the world is so divided about politics at the moment, and what I think is, I might like somebody, and everybody else seems to hate that person. So you know.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so many. There's. You put me in a good one there. Can I come back to that one? I'll have a think about it.
One more. Best piece of advice you ever got?
Two sides to every story. That's actually the advice I gave to my son back in England.
Thanks for your time, mate. I appreciate it.
Cheers, Dave.
Thanks, mate.
Take care. Saw you dive in the pub. Come and say hello.